Hey, this is Phoenix. This is another VOD review for RabidShrew and Ana. They're currently a Silver 1 player. They said on Reddit, I feel like this game went pretty decently. I'm only Silver 1 max rank, so there's plenty of mistakes overall, I'm sure. But at the same time, I was told to swap off Ana and do more healing. They only asked for me to swap at the end, but several times they asked for more healing. Was it a good balance? Should I go for more healing overall? Any other tips are appreciated. Thanks in advance. For context, I'm a GM support player. I mostly play Jinko, Ana, Mercy, a little bit of Lucio here and there. I wanted to take a look at your VOD, just see if I can point out a couple things for you. I'll also make sure to take a look at your healing and damage balance, just to see how well you're doing, balancing between the two. I think overall, though, as a silver player, I think what I'm going to see, and I'm just making a prediction, is that you're actually going to be healing more than you should be. And you probably, I hate to say, don't listen to your teammates, but considering they're the same rank as you, it's very difficult to, take what they say, and, they probably don't understand the game well enough anyways, to actually know and identify what the problem is and come up with a solution for it. Although you could say that about most ranks, I think, actually. But we'll just get right into it, see how it goes. There you are.
Damage. Think you can touch me? Let's pop more highlights moving. Stand up straight.
I think what you could be doing, so I like that you're going after the damage, right? Let me actually go back a little bit. What you've done since you walked out is really just focus on outputting damage. Now, I'll be honest, you're trying to deal as much damage as you possibly can, but your mechanics aren't, you aren't really executing it right now because your mechanics are holding you back. So specifically your aim, right? But what I did want to point out, though, was maybe it would be better for you to take a little bit of a position further back. I mean, you could even really be right here, to be honest, in spawn still, since nothing's really happening. Or maybe another place would be here, although there's a Reaper flanking there. But I think right now you're actually just taking a really aggressive position here. You're kind of close to cover, so I do, you can get into it if you ever get into danger from the soldier poking out or something. But as it is right now, you're kind of limiting yourself in kind of your team and just overall, if they need healing or not. I think overall the issue is actually you're hard scoped in this whole time, right? You're basically scoped in the whole time. You actually haven't seen the Junker Queen at all, who probably needs the healing right now. She needs to stabilize so that she can get back into the front line. And, I mean, look at kind of your position right now. You're kind of in the front line, you and Cassidy right now, against the Ursa. Junker Queen is having to back up so that she can stabilize and get her cooldowns back. So just, I think you're hard scoping actually a little too much, and your positioning is a little too aggressive. Take a step back so it's a little bit easier to see the overall big picture, as well as and I can show you actually here. Where am I? 1 minute. Okay, as well as there's quick scoping, which I'm not sure if you're aware of what that is. Maybe I'll see it later in the VOD. I'm being a little bit on the fallen about this one, but I just want to show you. So what you're doing right now is you're just really scoped in, and you're just kind of shooting like this, right? Which is great. That's fine. It's good if you can maintain a long distance because there's no damage fall off first off, or healing fall off. So that's really nice. But what it does do is I'm going to show you here, right? This is pretty obvious, but if you see the edge of my screen, you see the doorway, I zoom in, I don't see it as much. So that's kind of what's happening here is, let's say I have my teammates right there that are critical, I zoom in, I don't really see them, so it makes you a little bit less aware. Of course you could shoot unscoped, it's a little less difficult to hit, but I think with a little bit of aim training, a little bit of polishing up on your mechanics, I think you'll be able to hit those shots. But doing this way makes you a little bit more aware of your surroundings, but it is a little bit more difficult to hit your shots because it's projectiles. But so there's a nice middle ground in between the two, right? Which is quick scoping, which is what you basically just scope in for a sec, shoot, and then unscope in that sequence, which allows you to do a hit scan, right? Motion, but and it still gives you the benefits of not being scoped in. So let's say I'm playing here, right? There's an enemy right there, I want to shoot or something, let me take a shot, I can still look around very quickly, like versus this, right? It's just it makes you a little less aware of your surroundings. So if you don't know what quick scoping is, I'm not going to go too in depth into it in this review. I think you could just look up a video or something. There are some great players that explain how it works or the benefits of it. But I'm going to go and let you go and take the initiative on that one. All right. I think we're like a minute too. We barely started. Anyways. Nice anti. Great anti. What did you use your sleep dart on, actually? Now I'm curious. Oh, got it. So that's something I want to point out, actually. You know, as an Ana player, your abilities are on really high cooldowns, right? What I always recommend to most Ana players is go through your replays and check when you use your abilities, right? And see if it was worth it. Like first, ask yourself, right? What did I want to accomplish with my ability? 2, was it worth it, right? And then 3, is there something else that I could have like held it for instead that would have been like better, right? So in this case, you were trying to sleep the Orisa, right? Which, especially after the nerf with the Ana sleep against the tanks, now it's like more like 3.5 seconds, I believe, on how long they stay asleep. It just doesn't feel that worth it to me right there, to be honest. I don't think that would have like confirmed the kill on them, right? Because they do have a Mercy and a Moira who could really easily like top off the Orisa. I mean, Moira is like right here, right? So I don't know if that sleep dart was really worth it right there. And so now that you use it, it's on a 13-second cooldown. So now when the time comes for a really good use of it, right here, it's on cooldown, so you can't even use it anymore. And that would have been a fantastic sleep dart, right? I don't actually, so far, I'm gonna be honest with you, other than the like very beginning where you weren't really looking at the Junker Queen because I think you were just really scoped in the whole time. You're not doing like that bad of a job of like keeping her up, letting the Lifeweaver top her off, and then you're looking for opportunities to like look for damage. I actually not too like, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this. Ooh, shit. I don't know if you hear the footsteps. So be a little bit more aware of like audio cues, right? What the hell is going on? All right, hold on. Like, okay, like I know like the whole Lifeweaver thing. He can pull you anywhere and he can reposition you kind of against your will. But like, honestly, sometimes you just gotta like take it. Like honestly, this isn't actually too bad of an idea. He pulled you up here. I think what I would have done actually is jump onto here, which would have given me a really aggressive position, and it would have like given me a nice visual of all my teammates, right? And then as the point develops and the payload starts developing more this way, this way, you're already nicely on the high ground, which is really nice. And then eventually, once it's going around that corner right there, you could jump off here, jump over here, right? This is really nice view, nice little high ground for you. You just kind of jump off though. So that feels a little bit bad, but if that ever happens to you where a Lifeweaver moves you, take that as an opportunity to look around and see how can I use that like to my advantage. It's already happened. He's already repositioned you. He's moved you against your will. Now how can you make it so that you could come out on top of it, right? You just kind of jump down, which sucks a little. Even if you hit that anti on her, she would have eaten it with her spin, her like javelin spin or whatever it's called. So keep in mind that there are certain abilities that can, block or eat your anti and sleep. Just be on the lookout for that and keep track of cooldowns. That'll help you really land those. Overall, I'm gonna be honest. I think your mechanics are really holding you back right now. Your aim, you're not hitting shots that could potentially really put you guys in a better position. Like on Reaper, a couple times on their supports, I've seen you go for really good damaging opportunities. The issue is you're recognizing good opportunities to do it. It's just you're not executing it though, right? And then you see good opportunities for antis, and I see you trying to make plays with them, but you're not landing them right now, right? I would highly recommend you do a little bit of aim training. I'll give you the workshop codes as well, and then another good way is doing free for all. You'll get put with DPS players and stuff like that, but I mean, I think it's very helpful. It's a good tool. I'll go on free for alls as well. So that's my my usual warm up will always be a little bit of aim training on VAXTA, which is what I use for aim training, and then I'll go on free for all. Do a round or two just to get myself warmed up against actual players, and then I'll go from there, right? So it's just something to keep in mind. And then your antis, I this feels odd, but play a couple quick play games, right? And really pay attention specifically to how the anti-nade how the grenade arcs. How does it travel? What is the trajectory of it? How does it look when you throw it? How high do I have to throw it to get to this distance? How high do I have to throw it to get to this distance? Right? Really pay attention to that, and then just burn that into your mind, because as you get more and more comfortable with your grenade, you're gonna be landing more of these grenades. Which grenade, by the way, it's a 10-second cooldown, so if you're gonna use it, it really has to be worth it, right? Because you don't get to use it for the next 10 seconds. It's a higher cooldown than most of the abilities in the game, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Nice. I absolutely love how much damage you're trying to push out right now. I personally you've gone for the Orisa a little more than I probably would prefer. I would be going definitely for their squishies. But you're going for soldier a lot. Yeah, your sleep dart you're just kind of throwing out right now. So you're just kind of as soon as it comes off cooldown, it feels like you immediately try to shoot someone with it. Be a little more thoughtful with it, right? I would have taken that Life Weaver pedal. Nice. Great anti. Oh, nice try on the sleep. Feels dead. That's maybe a little bit of miscommunication between your team, maybe, or maybe she wasn't as aware that there was someone behind you guys. That was harassing the back line, but that just sucks. You can't control that though, so there's nothing you can do.
Take this.
All right, so I want to point this out really quick. So right now, turn it down like this right now. Okay, as for right now, look how out in the open you are against a soldier, right? Moira a little bit less so because she can't actually get to you or do anything to you at this range. But I mean, soldier is shooting at you. It just feels so out of cover, and you almost actually die for it, right? I'm saying this if this soldier was a better player, or just had better aim, you would have died 100%, right? So make sure we're not just walking out into the open like this. You have the payload, which you could use for cover. It's not my favorite thing because it makes it very out of position once the team fight starts to occur more around the payload, which inevitably always happens, right? Then you're kind of out of position because you're in the middle of the team fight. I would be looking to maybe reposition into behind these trucks, cars, wherever, maybe even over here or something, just somewhere that isn't so out in the open as you are right now. You heal yourself using your nade. That's fine. Sucks that they nerfed that, by the way. Maybe it was needed though.
I've got you in my sight.
And so now, when soldier's ulting, yeah, you have the payload for cover, but I would personally just feel so much safer being here. Right. You go for the sleep. Honestly, nice try. I always go for it. Oh, that's a fantastic tree. That's a really good tree, actually. Let me actually go back to you now. Okay, hold on. You have to be a little bit more aware of what's going on with that soldier, right? Let me maybe actually back up. So You see him, you go for the sleep dart, and then, you know, Moira coalescences, your Life Weaver, you know, puts down a tree. And now we're just like, we completely forgot about the soldier, right? Right, like that feels really dangerous to me. So, you know, and this is part of like being out of position and being like not in safe positioning, like especially by cover. This kind of goes back to that, because if you were like, you know, per se like over here, something, or over here, not my favorite spot, like I said, I feel like you would be in a much better position to, you know, heal your teammates, look for damage, you know, things like that, and still be in a pretty decently safe spot. So. It feels a little bit of panic, I'll be honest with you. It feels like you panic. You're like really panicking right now. There was no reason to even nade yourself. You could have gone for a nade on the Moira or the Orisa right here. You just kind of end up nading yourself, which, by the way, look at how much health you have. You only needed 12 HP. That Life Weaver could just top you off. You end up using it on yourself, and then you don't hit anyone else with it either. So it's a very selfish nade. Selfish, you know, I use that. It has a negative connotation, but it's like, you know, you're only using it for yourself right now when you didn't even need it. So I'm being a little bit nitpicky about your ability usage, but I'm doing that so that you can really see, like, you know, how much more efficiently we could be using them. Nice. Nice job, nice job.
Keep fighting. I am healed. Time to go on a rampage.
See, that's part of it. Not using cover at all. You're coming into this like on, you know, not fully topped off. You throw your nade, but then you gotta like immediately, you gotta like just walk to your right now, right? He has a mercy pocket as well, so there's no way you're gonna kill him. She's just gonna heal him off, and so all you're doing by, you know, damaging him, all you're really accomplishing is, for one, giving Soldier ult charge because he's shooting at you, you know, and you're taking damage, so that gives him ult charge, and then Mercy is gonna heal Soldier, which is gonna give her ult charge. So net like worth, right? You get maybe like a little bit of ult charge, but they get significantly more collectively between the two of them. So I don't think like you doing this is very worth it. So like there's always a time and place for damage, right? That was not one of them. Sorry, I was just seeing what the Junker Queen was doing there. I got a little distracted. There's a Reaper to your left, by the way. I don't know if you hear his big, very scary footsteps, but there's definitely one up there right now. Just so you know, he hasn't ulted all game, right? I know he has ult. I haven't even looked at the top left yet, but I know he has his ult. He's looking for one right now, and you're using your sleep start right now when you should be holding it for the Reaper ult. So this really sucks. This is kind of what I mean by like, be very thoughtful about your sleep dart, especially if there are ultimates on the enemy team that you could sleep. Reaper ult is definitely one of them. Coalescence, definitely also one of them. It's a little bit more difficult to hit now because she can do her fade during her ult. You know, obviously you can't sleep Orisa ult. It's near fucking impossible to sleep Mercy when she Valks. Soldier ult also you could sleep. There are potentially 3 ultimates that you could sleep. 2 of them which were used, 1 of them that hasn't been used. And so like you gotta think a little bit ahead and be like, okay, like, you know, if I'm gonna do a little bit of ult tracking, which ultimately this is what it boils down to, ult tracking. It's like, I know they used all their ults last fight, right? Reaper hasn't used his ult yet, so I gotta look to sleep dart it. There it is. Glad you hear the soldier.
I've got you. My ultimate is ready. Get in there, and I will be. Let's take your part.
nitpicky, don't reload when you don't have to. You have 10 bullets left. Just like seriously, just don't ever like reload unless you really have to. The only times you ever want to reload during like a fight or anything like this is either one, you're out of bullets, you're forced to reload, or two, you are physically moving or repositioning. And there's like nothing for you to shoot at. If there is nothing for you to shoot at, then yeah, I would go ahead and reload. Like, let's say, like, you know, for whatever reason, like, let's just be like, you know, oh, like, you're over here for whatever fucking reason, your team's over there, let me see here, and you're like, well, I got to reposition so I can, like, see my teammates move here or something, then yeah, like, as you're walking and moving, just be like, yep, I'm going to reload, because there's literally nothing for me to shoot at as I walk over here. This is very nitpicky, by the way. It's an issue that I actually had, but, you know, just kind of think about it, just keep that in mind. And, whoa, there was no reason for you to walk out here. You're leaving really good cover right here, out here, to where there's a Reaper, there's a Soldier, Orisa, like, that could all just look at you and kill you. So you just kind of, like, end up dying for, like, no reason, right? That sucks. Oof, feels bad. I'm glad you're grouping up with your team. It's really good to see. I say that, and it's like not uncommon to see like even Diamond Master players not even fucking wait to regroup. Nice. Nice. Sorry, I get very distracted sometimes. I want to see what happened here. What do you do? Oh yeah, he just ulted. Go crazy. Wait, what? How did that Mercy not die? Hold on. This warrants investigation. Oh. That's so interesting. Had he been here, instead of looking down like this like he's doing, if he was like looking like this more, or like, you know, even like a little bit like this, he would have killed the Mercy too. That's so interesting. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. Alright, right now, you should be looking to reposition yourself right now. So, like, don't be on the payload, but, like, find high ground. That's what I would be doing. Especially, like, I'd probably be going over here or something. You know, walking up here maybe. Ooh, there we go. Walking up here, maybe. Like, it's a little dangerous just because there are people there. So it's not, like, my favorite spot, but I don't know. I would just be looking to reposition away from the payload. Like, you don't need to be right on top of it. Another spot I could be would be like right here, you know, and then as it goes around the corner, then yeah, you follow along with it. Trying to stay within cover at all times, maybe like over here. Also a nice health pack right there, by the way, if you didn't know. So this is a really nice spot as well. So nice try on the sleep. Okay, whoa. You can't be on the payload like this, right? Holy shit, that was scary. This is... I think you're tunnel visioning just a little bit right now. You see the... fucking Junker Queen, that's her name, JQ, critical, so you're being like, oh, well, I gotta heal her now, but you're ignoring everything else going on in the bigger picture right here, right? Like this is just to point out, it's like prioritization. It doesn't fucking matter if Junker Queen wins whatever duel is happening over here right now, right? Well, what does matter, though, is you cannot let Mercy res the Orisa. But we let her res because we're not paying attention to what's happening to the left side here. We're really focused in on what's going on right here right now. Which you were saying like they were like, you know, telling you to heal them more and stuff like that. So maybe like in comms, like they were just being like, you know, like heal me, like Ana, you know, stuff like that, being toxic. Who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there, obviously, right? But your priority right there should have, I think definitely should have been like, I got to stop Mercy res because like, you know, she has res up. It's on, you know, it's off, like it's on, like, you know, ready, not off cooldown. So I think you should have been like looking for that a little bit more, especially because, you know, Orisa died. I think Mercy would have gone for it anyways. But also, to be fair, in your defense, your DPS and Lifeweaver. Really should have punished her for that, but they didn't do that. So you can't rely on your teammates to do that, right? You always got to rely on yourself. That's how you climb. That's like it sucks. You can't rely on teammates. You always have to like kind of rely on yourself to make really smart and good plays. Which, I mean, even like here, let me like just look at this, right? That's fine. That's great. You killed the Orisa. Great, right? Jungle Queen had her shout up. She had her overhealth. She was okay, you know. Healer, that's fine. It's like when you hear the sound though. I wish I would have seen you like be like really urgently going around the corner and just sleep on her. That would have been nice. Wait, hold on. That's so funny. Rip Cassidy, first off. Second off, that was a pretty decent play by the Lifeweaver. That's really funny. Nice. Alright, great. Pretty decent second round. You guys actually won both of your team fights without really much trouble. Or, sorry, you actually lost the very first one, but after that, you guys like basically just steamrolled them a little bit. You hear that teleport from Reaper? I think you were trying to go on a sleep for the Reaper there. The moment you heard him, and the moment that you knew that, like, you know, he's around you guys, and like an aggressive play like Reaper like that, especially in lower ranks, is always like a telegraph. Like he's choreographing to you, like, I have my ult, I'm gonna teleport, I'm gonna go onto high ground somewhere, and I'm gonna jump down and ult on you guys. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm a Reaper player, right? He's always gonna do that, especially in lower ranks, right? It happens less and less the more you higher up you go, right? Because they don't want to choreograph that as much and like tell it to like the enemy team, right? But for you right now, like, you got to be looking for audio cues and stuff like that right now, right? Because you heard his footsteps above you. You know he didn't ult for the last 3 team fights, by the way, right? Or is it 2? It might have been. No, it was 3. It was 3 team fights, right? Because you guys lost the first one, so he's probably back at 50 or 60. Maybe like 40 if he didn't do like too much during that team fight. He lost another team fight, so let's give him another like 20. And then he lost another team fight, so let's give him another 20. So overall, he probably has his ult, right? Especially considering he hasn't ulted in like the last couple team fights. So you got to be on the lookout for that. I very rarely find a Lifeweaver that makes decent plays with the life grip right now. I don't actually even play with Lifeweavers in high ranks right now because he's just not considered a very good hero at the moment, at least in higher tier. But your Lifeweaver actually has been like making some decent plays with this life grip. He's saved you a couple times and other players. So this is just really like random off tangent, but your Lifeweaver's actually been doing a decent job.
They never learn.
I like what you're doing. I actually really, really like this. You nanoed your Junker Queen. You knew she wouldn't die like as much, like because of the 50% damage reduction, as well as like the initial heal she gets from it, right? And then you go like immediately after. All you do is go after the enemy team and like look for kills. That's fantastic. That is like fantastic to see. But like I said, what like always is holding you back right now. By the way, just really quick bit, you could have picked this up because you're at like 1 HP and then you peek the enemy team. You could have just like instantly died there. That's like something I didn't want to point out, but I got very excited by seeing what you did here. But they're not paying attention to you. You nano her and then you instantly just like go for DPSing. And that's fantastic, right? Nice. You help secure kill on soldier. Get a pick. That's such a good play. That's huge. Now, what I want to see next is see a Eva Brigger like play with your anti, like go for like the Orisa and like the Mercy and Reaper. Like that would be awesome to see here next. Nice try. Nice sleep. Great job. That was overall really well played by you and your team in general. But but I really liked what you had done there. But you know, it's common to see. It's what I've been like seeing this whole time, this whole game really, or at least this round. It's that I'm seeing your mechanics hold you back right now, because if you were going for like a really big anti-play, could have killed Mercy. Like you could have hit Mercy there at like the very least, right? She was pretty out in the open. She was not really by cover. So you definitely could have gone for the Mercy there. A couple of the shots you missed on Mercy initially, right? Like I think you missed the first 2 shots on Mercy. It's little things like that adds up over time, and like that's kind of what ends up costing you games, is like you're not being very consistent with your gameplay, right? So I really got to polish up, I think, on those mechanics. And if you do that, I think you have a really good sense actually of like damage to like healing balance. It's just the issue is that like when you go for a damage, you know, like DPSing, I guess, it's just not happening, right? It's not being executed right now. So it's a good balance, but you just gotta like make sure you're actually executing it. Nice, good anti. Don't walk out of cover. Don't walk out of cover. Scary. Good. I'm glad you're like staying like inside this room. Probably didn't need to throw your anti there. It was a little bit of a waste, especially because you could have either just like shot Junker Queen and Cassidy there to heal them, and then you also have a Tree of Life up, by the way, which is really nice. That'll also heal your team. Nicely. A little bit iffy on the nade. You didn't even like hit her there, right? So nice. You guys have so much momentum this last like fight, or this last point. That's fantastic. Nice sleep, and that confirms the kill. That was fantastic. This whole last round was really well played by your team in general. You guys just had so much momentum. It was just like overall, like there was probably no way the enemy team, you guys could have messed this up. You guys had a lot of momentum there, so that's good to see.
Round 1.
There, we'll just push forward a little bit, skip ahead. All right, cool. Let me just see everyone's position really quick, especially yours. I don't actually personally like being over here. That's just me. I actually like playing more over here. This feels better to me personally. The only reason why I wouldn't play here is if they have a Widow or something. Then I feel very dangerous about it. But a lot of times we'll hold like Ramatra or Sigma. Sigma is pretty common, I think, on this map, to be honest, just because he likes to hold up here on this high ground as well, and you play just kind of play poke, or like just play Hanzo, Widowmaker, things like that. I like being up here generally. This feels safer. This over here, like, it feels pretty good. I feel hesitant on it because you're so isolated from, like, you know, any other person on your team right now. So that's kind of the only reason why I wouldn't really like it. But I mean, I guess it is nice because you could fall back here. But if they went Winston or something and they jump you, you're kind of screwed just because you're kind of all alone. So that'd be my only complaint about it. Nice. Love to see you going for the DPS. Nice try on the anti. A little iffy on the sleep there, because even if you sleep the Mercy, what will that accomplish, right? Because you guys can't kill her. I'm sure it's like 5 seconds without having a Mercy on their team, but all they have to do is just maybe pull back for a couple seconds, have her come back up, and then they walk forward, and then, you know, your cooldown is now gone for like the next 7-8 seconds or something like that. I think you're DPSing like the tank too much. You could be going for the Mercy and Moira here more often. Probably the Mercy. Like, look how out in the open they are. Glad you recognize that the Reaper's coming after you. I'd be a little iffy on that life grip personally. I'd probably ask at least for them to like put me back up there. Okay, way too aggressive now, right? You see the squishies, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna fuck him up. But in doing so, you're putting yourself in a really, really scary. Look at you. You're out in the open. You're like front line. Ramatra, for whatever reason, he does not give a shit about you. He does not notice you for whatever reason. Had he noticed you, you would probably be dead though, right? So this is like a case of like don't tunnel vision, right? Plus also, I think you let your Cassie die there. Actually, I'll give it to you. I don't think actually you could have saved him. His HP dropped to like 0 like fucking instantly. That's crazy. Nice anti. I wish you would have gone for the person you anti. Nice, nice, nice. She super jumps like that. Just go after her. I love to see it. All right. This is where things are getting a little hectic, and I really like. I feel like I'm in danger right now, right? I hope you do too, because this is a very scary spot right now. Like I said, look at what's going on. You're just in the front line, I think, a little too much right now. I kind of wish you would be more over here. This feels much safer to me personally. Like being on the high ground here, I can still shoot at the enemy team. I can also heal my own teammates, from up here. And then as the fight develops, I can go down here, hang out over here, fight at this corner now. And as the game develops even more, I can be over here, keep healing my own teammates. And then eventually, if we're fighting like literally on point or something, like at the checkpoint or something, fighting like up here feels pretty decent. If you have the opportunity, I like to be over here as well. This feels very nice to me. This feels very good to me, actually. A little isolated. So if they do catch you out, it's a little rough, but this feels really nice to me. Or actually also like right here, this also feels really good to me. Like, actually, this feels like probably the best to me personally. If we're fighting like right here, something, the team fight's happening here. So. Yep, but you're like face tanking right now, and then you end up dying because of that. Plus, you'll also, because you were like in front of your Ramatra, you didn't notice how low he was. Like, and then he ends up dying for it, by the way. So, if you're a little further back, you probably could have kept your Ramatra up, and then you guys probably wouldn't have lost that fight.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Whoa, there's a Reaper 2 right. I hope you know that. There was a Reaper 2 right. Where did he go? Huh. Interesting. This feels better to me. Yeah, this feels much better to me, especially right here. This feels really good, actually.
Help me.
Just being on the low ground like this feels really dangerous. High ground is very powerful in Ana, especially on maps like this. So just make sure we're utilizing it, because I think you're underutilizing it right now. I haven't really seen you go high ground all too often. Only times I've really seen it so far is right here when you were, where were you? You were right here. So just a heads up. Something to keep in mind. I'm not gonna like dig into it any further. Just use it more often.
Life protects life.
I hope I don't see you nano this fight. There's no reason for it.
Happy to assist.
Unless like someone gets like your tank gets really low for some reason. There's really no reason for it. Alright, I'd be a little scared now. Oh thank God you keep him up. Alright, where's their Ramatra? Now that the Ramatra's slowly coming back, I'd maybe consider using it. Ah, great Suzu. Not Suzu. Great anti. Except no one looked at him. Oh shit, that was scary. Just feels so close up. I feel like I'm constantly in danger right now. Nice. You know, for you held your nano, by the way, which is really nice, actually. Just because You guys also use like what? So you guys use Tree. You guys also use Tree of Life. You use Ramatra Annihilation. You use Cassidy ult. I'm glad you held your nano because you realized that. I'm hoping like it was less of like, oh, I just didn't know I had it, and more of like, oh, we used 3 ults and we probably didn't need to commit a nano to win this fight. So that was good. If that was the reason why, that's fantastic. A soldier to your left, by the way. He has ult as well. There you go. Backing up. Oh. Nice anti. Huge. Fantastic anti. So the nice thing about Ana's abilities, and I can go in depth in this, and like I want to go really in depth into Ana's kit one day. I just haven't found the time to actually like record a video on it. But on Ana's kit, her anti-grenade and her sleep, both of them are very powerful abilities that really change the rhythm of the fight. You can dictate the tempo of the fight, you know, and also which team kind of has the momentum with both of her abilities. It's really good for that. That's also what Mei is really good for. Her wall is really good to dictate tempo because she can just wall half their team off, right? And then all of a sudden, your team has the momentum. They don't anymore, right? It's things like that. Ana's anti is great at doing so, especially on enemy tanks, because as soon as a tank gets antied, they have to start pulling back. Or if it's a Ryan, they can't swing more. They have to like put their shield up, especially if they're on the lower side. So like, you know, all of a sudden the momentum's on your team. So it's just something that, you know, I'm liking that you're using anti on like the enemy tank and stuff. But like I said earlier, I just think you're like kind of throwing out your sleep dart a little too much right now, and you're not hitting either ability all too often. So we'll come back into that later after I'm finished with this VOD. Because this video has actually gotten way too longer than I normally do. Speaking of which, how much do I actually have left? Holy cow. Alright. A little bit of checking Tinder, maybe? Don't know. Maybe we're texting our girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, or significant other for a moment there. Should probably be on the high ground right now, like I said. Really scary that you're down here. It's a fantastic thing that the enemy tank just doesn't want to look at you, though, for whatever reason. There's a Pharaoh. Nice. Good job keeping your cast up. Nice anti. Nice sleep. Huge tempo change. See how the momentum instantly went back to your team right there? Hold on, like, because right here, you're going after the fire, which is fine. You know, but look at how the macro, and we're gonna look at the macro side of this for a second, because this is just as important. But like your own gameplay is a micro, your like team working and the enemy team, like how they interact, that's the macro level, right? Like look what's going on. Your team is kind of being pushed back, right here. A little bit being pushed back, and then as soon as you recognize that, maybe it's like subconsciously you recognize that, you anti the guy, and then instantly, you know, all of a sudden the momentum is completely on your team's favor, and that's actually why Hanzo probably ulted right there, because he felt that, or maybe he just saw like they were lined up there, which was nice. But then also Ramatra, definitely this is why he ulted, whether consciously or not, he felt that there was a shift in the momentum, kind of like which team has like the is dictating the tempo of the fight. Now it's on your team, so you ults for it. That's a fantastic play by your team right there on a macro level. I think the dragon was a little presumptuous, but it's kind of funny that someone took the nade from anti earlier from you guys. That's funny.
Get in there. You're welcome.
You know, on a scale 1 to 10, I'd probably give that nano like a 5, maybe a 4. It felt very unneeded to me personally. It did confirm 2 more kills and stagger them. So, you know, actually, yeah, maybe, yeah. I'm not mad about it. It's pretty good. So, to confirm 2. So, and you held on to it like almost all game now. So, well, see, I say that, but it's like, on the top of my head, I know they have ults as well. Farah just swapped, so she didn't have it. Soldier didn't have it because he used the last fight, so did Moira Coalescence. I know they definitely have Ramatra ult. I probably would have held it for next fight, now that I think about it. Especially because Ramatra has his Annihilation, so just to help like maintain tempo onto your team. So that way, like, someone on your team doesn't just instantly die. It's things like that. Planning ahead really takes you far in this game. This is when the quick scoping would help because you get the benefit of moving around, right, at a normal speed, but also being able to be in hit scan mode and hit your teammates a little bit easier. For whatever reason, the Ramatra just does not care about looking at you at all. The enemy Ramatra, I mean, man.
60 seconds.
Nice try on the slip. Sucks. Oh shit. Sorry to like just totally skipped like ahead for no reason. This is very dangerous. You are totally like completely by yourself right now. Well, not really, but there's no reason for you to be doing this right now. You just need to regroup with your team, right? It's like unnecessarily taking damage and being in danger. Great anti. Sleep was a little questionable. Especially because Farah had her ult. And you could have slept that. That sucks.
You'll have my you want
60 seconds remaining.
Yeesh. He died fucking instantly. Alright. Let's see the nano come out here. Nice. Ooh, shit. A little bit walking out into the open, a little too much there, I think. I think had you been playing more back here or something, I think it would have been probably a little safer. And then maybe doing like this kind of motion. Now, there's a soldier over there, so he would have shot at you. But clearly, whatever he was fighting, I think it was Hanzo, almost killed him for it. So you probably could have helped the Hanzo as well. That sucks. Man, that could have been such an easy fight for you guys. Yeah, that could have been such an easy fight for you guys. I think the only thing you could have done differently is just not tunnel vision as much as the bigger picture, as like everyone over here. Maybe help your Hanzo out in the duel like that. That probably would have maybe won you guys that fight. Also would have helped if your Ramatra didn't walk into like LS there, but can't control your teammates. It is what it is.
Ready for battle.
All right, I'm gonna be super honest with you. Baptiste is like my least like played hero and one of my worst heroes. I can't give any meaningful feedback on Baptiste gameplay. The only thing I can say is continue looking for lots of damage opportunities. Don't jump up, like just jump up into the air for no reason. Find the tempo. So it's like, I know one really common way is like right click, or sorry, heal, shoot, shoot, heal. Heal, shoot, shoot, heal. Like that's a pretty common tempo. Another one is just heal, shoot, heal, shoot. That's a pretty easy one too. But you basically don't want to be just like holding like right click the just the heal button the whole time. There's no reason to. Yeah, just because this video has gone very long, I'm gonna hold off on your Moira and Baptiste as well. I will look at your Ana gameplay here at the end though, just because I do have the. I'll go and do that, but definitely will not give any feedback on Baptiste. Like I straight up just can't play him. There's no way. I don't know what it is either. He's just not my favorite hero. Sleep dart right there. Really no target. Just kind of throwing it out right now. Nice. Nice.
30 seconds.
Fantastic. Man, you guys just like steamrolled them right there. Yeah, probably because they're... Everyone on their team was just kind of out in the open for no reason. Did you guys win this? I thought you said you lost this for some reason. For whatever reason, I thought you guys lost this.
Objective's lost if we don't get a move on.
10 seconds remaining. The payload is approaching its destination.
Oh, you guys won that. Oh, well, all right. I did not know that. I thought you guys lost that for whatever reason. All right, so couple of things, and I'm going to be typing notes so that I can give you written feedback as well as we're doing this. One thing majorly that I really think you need to work on is your mechanics. Right now it's holding you back, especially your aim. I think you're doing a really decent job, I think, for at least in the rank that you are in, balancing between healing and doing damage right now. What I think you could be doing better, though, you're doing a really good job at it. But what is holding you back, though, is right now your aiming is just not quite where it needs to be to like really like take advantage of like your sense of that balance between the two. Because the thing is like you don't need to heal your team as much because, you know, the enemy team's dead. So like there's no one to like do damage to your team, right? That's the trade-off. That's why, you know, this damage thing is so worth it. It's because, you know, if you kill someone, that's worth it. You know, that's one less person shooting at your own team. But if you don't kill someone on the enemy team because you're missing, well, you know, yeah, then it's just kind of like a waste because you could just be healing your team at that point. Like that is more helpful, right, than just doing nothing, which is essentially what happens when you just miss, right? So that's something to keep in mind. I would highly recommend a couple workshop codes. VAXTA aim training is a really good one. There are other like couple of good ones out there. You can just like literally just search Reddit or like the Google, just be like Overwatch like aim training workshop, and you'll probably get like a million of them. So just check them out. You know, it's a good idea. Free for alls are also really good because that helps you get very comfortable with duels and stuff, because people, like especially DPS players, are going to like try to eat you because you're playing Ana in a free for all game. Which, to be honest, Ana does really well because she self heals and she has an anti and she has a sleep, so she works actually quite well in a free for all game. So try her out as well. It'll get you more comfortable with duels. Another thing with the mechanics thing is I want to see you get really comfortable with that anti-grenade. So get into a couple quick play games, you know, see how it travels. Focus just on that, like in your quick play games, like fuck healing, fuck doing damage, like literally everything else. Like don't even like worry about it. Just play as you normally would, but really think about how the grenade like works. You know, how far does it travel? How far do I need to like put my camera up in order to, you know, get to this distance, to, you know, this distance, and so on, so on. So get really comfortable with that. Sleep dart. It's the same thing. VAXTA, free for all. There's a couple other ones. Sleep and Yeet is another good one. Ana Paintball is a pretty good one as well for just aim training in general, and also the sleep dart. So that's another really good one that you could be using. The one made by Jinko is pretty good. I use it like pretty often with my friends and stuff when I'm just playing with them. Another thing, positioning right now, it's suffering quite a bit. You're playing very aggressively, taking very aggressive positions that actually end up getting you killed a couple times here and there. You could be playing probably a little bit more further back, just away from the payload just in general, and then using cover, right? So you don't take unnecessary damage as much. And then also with that positioning is using high ground more often, because I never really saw you utilize it as often as I would like to. Maybe you did when you were playing Baptiste or Moira. Maybe because, I don't know, I didn't really check though. It, you know, just when you're playing Ana though, just make sure you're using it more often, especially just because high ground is so powerful for her. And I can actually show you why as well, why high ground in general is so powerful. And obviously there are a couple other, what do you call it? There are other couple guides and, you know, talks out there on why high ground is just so important. Let me just show you really quick. So let's say the team fight is happening up here, right? Or down there, sorry. Let's say the team fight is happening down there. 4 of my team is right there, 4 of their team is right there, or 5 of their team is right there, whatever, you know, whatever. I'm playing a Hunter or something. I just picked Lucius just so I can get up here quicker. You know, I'm shooting at them, I'm healing my own teammates, and then they look at me and they start shooting at me. Well, guess what I need to do to get into cover? Just like that easy. right? And then also what's really nice is I'm further away from the fight, and generally high ground gives better visuals of what's going on in the fight, right? Or at least like just you can see more being on the high ground. So I'm up here and I can see like, oh, well, there are Mercy's in the back line and she's not in cover, so let me shoot at her. Or, you know, their Cassidy is like half right now, let me shoot at him. Or, oh shoot, like my tank is like dying right now, so let me shoot at them. So it's the little things like that being on the high ground that really helps. So it's just something to think about. Just definitely make sure, for sure, like get on the high ground way more often. Otherwise, right now, I think you're doing a pretty decent job at the whole like healing damage balance right now. Like that's pretty good. And then, oh, that's right. Also being a little bit more aware of like the enemy team positioning in relation to your own positioning and then your team positioning. That's always something to be aware of. That's kind of goes back to the positioning thing, right? So being on high ground is generally favorable in that relationship. Another thing is you're just a little unaware of what's going on with your teammates right now, because you're scoped in so often, and two, because you're taking such aggressive positions, you have to turn around to look at your teammates instead of just looking at like them and the enemy team. So that would be a better spot for you to be in. Overall, pretty good. I think if you polish up on your mechanics, you'd definitely be doing really well, and the positioning as well. So if you have any questions, concerns, you know, anything you want to talk about, or, you know, if you want to clarify on some things, just let me know. You can always DM me on Reddit. I'll give you my Discord as well in the Reddit message that I'll send you with all this feedback. Also, you can comment on my video here if you're watching this. So otherwise, thanks for letting me take a look at this. Had a lot of fun. Like I said, ask any questions if you need it. Otherwise, please have a good weekend.